been a stressful week.
Lots of stress. I've lost 11 pounds.
What?
Yeah, I mean, when I stress, I lose weight like no other. And I almost had like my summer body ready, and then I lost it. I was up to like 200 pounds, and now I'm like at like the 189.
Oh my God, the Bachelor
wow.
in Paradise scandal diet.
I know, it's funny. Actually, one of my buddies at the gym I was playing basketball with, and he goes, "Man, I know you don't want to hear this, man. You've lost so much weight." I was like, "Thanks a lot."
Thanks.
I appreciate it, but yeah, stuff happens.
Yeah, stuff happens. Are you sleeping?
No, I've had it's been thank God for, family and friends. This week has been, it's been wild. It's been a crazy roller coaster, but throughout the whole entire, process, like my mother, my father, aunts, uncles, junior high teachers, high school teachers, all my castmates, Raven, Alexis, Jasmine, Taylor, all the guys. It's been humbling that you can meet people for 3 days. I knew them for less than 72 hours.
Yeah.
And in that time frame, they, went to bat for me, and they spoke on my integrity and, who I was as a man and what I did on set. And it was just really humbling because I was like, wow, I went into this as the villain, quote unquote, and then they got a chance to see the real me and the caring side, the son, the Godfather, and so it was really cool to kind of step back. My father, he told me last week, he said, you don't have to really say too many things about who you are as a person. Other people will say that for you. And to see them, go out to the press, and they didn't care about being sued themselves. They didn't care about their contracts. They just cared about, going to bat for a good guy.
Yeah.
And it was cool.
I mean, the investigation is over, according to Warner Brothers, and you've been completely cleared. But I can't even imagine what it would feel like to be accused of something so serious, sexual misconduct.
It was stressful. For me, mostly for my mother. It's hard to see your mom like cry every single day. It was very difficult. My grandmother and my aunts. My dad, he kept me extremely strong and kept me grounded and humble, but having your mom cry every day, like for something that you didn't do, something that you knew was on tape, something that so many people saw and witnessed. And for me, I kept playing it over and over in my head, like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And one of my favorite Jay-Z lyrics is, in order to experience joy, you need pain. And for me, like, the joy is, now. For me, the joy is FaceTiming my godson, FaceTiming my, my niece, and seeing her little 10-month-old little fat little baby legs shake, and being able to, go to my grandmother's 80th birthday party in August. That's the joy. The pain was last week, but I got through it. I always say, like, family and friends, you really don't understand how valuable they are until you, like, back's against the wall. I mean, music's blasting. I mean, my kid sister would call me in the craziest times. I would be like, take me now. And my kid sister would just call me like, hey, like, you're a jackass. And I'm like, oh, like, what's up? And she would make me smile. She's my best friend. And it was difficult, but, we got through it. And I'm extremely thankful for family and friends. That's like the number one thing, like, that I can just stress is it's got me through the hardest 11 days of my entire life.
Did you call your parents and let them know, or did they find out from the media?
No, actually, I went to my dad's house and I was pacing, like, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And he tells my stepmom, I know my son, something's wrong with him. So he goes, hey, come here, what's wrong? And he goes, hey, like, what's wrong? I don't know, some stuff. He goes, we're gonna get through it. So sit your ass down and have a beer. And I sat down and he goes, so what's up? And I don't know, it just was one of those father type moments to where, like, he knew what was wrong with his son. And then immediately, moments later, my mother called me and she said, are you okay? And it was like mother's intuition. And now at that point, I have my mother on speakerphone, I have my dad, I have my stepmom, and it just was a very, like, surreal moment, telling them what happened from my side and what was being put out on the internet. And I'm sitting here reading some of these, like, fake news articles. Shout out to Trump for that. I made fun of Trump talking about fake news, and then all of a sudden,
You're the
I'm witnessing it
victim.
myself, like firsthand. And some of the things that I'm reading were just so nasty. Like, the human race really failed me this past week. Like, I just saw nasty things on both sides. Like, they were shaming her, they were shaming me. And at the time, there was nothing that was out. All you saw was black man, white girl, and you just assumed the worst. As a society, my comment section was filled with some of the dirtiest comments that you could ever imagine from both parties. At the end of the day, like, I was raised by a strong mother, by a strong grandmother. I have sisters. I have, like, cousins. I have a lot of, my favorite teacher, Miss Abel, like, a lot of dominant, strong women. And just to see Corinne get disrespected and her name dragged through the mud and her family name, and I'm pretty sure her mother and father felt some type of way about that. And it just sucked. I really was, it was like, I feel like the human race like have failed the hell out of me. I mean, I've seen it from other people, but just to witness it and be like in the middle of a scandal, but it was turned into this race, like this race war. It was black and white and like it wasn't the case. I felt like people were saying bad things about her and about me, and it just, before anything was out.
Yeah.
And we were already guilty. And
Yeah.
it just sucked.
Okay, so let's go back to the incident. First of all, let's go back right to the beginning of the story.
Okay.
When did you get to Mexico?
I got to Mexico on May 31st.
Okay.
So, when you first arrive, you're in your hotel room and you're doing all of your in the moments, you're meeting all the producers, you're kind of, going over the whole game plan, and, they're getting you pretty pumped for it. It's a very, it's a great feeling because if you are in it, you understand how you could find love because you're, in Mexico, this beautiful island, you have, great food, great drinks. It's like this ambiance is just magnificent. Not to mention, like, it's just very romantic. You have the cabanas, and it's something to where if you're watching on TV, you're like, there's no way somebody could fall in love in 5 weeks. But if you're there, that 5 weeks seems like the 3 days that I was there seemed like 3 months.
Right, because it's like that time where it's a holiday thing, right?
Yeah.
Where it just,
Yep.
So you're there, and what did the producer say as far as a game plan to you? What were they, like, how were they prepping you for
The game
it?
plan is usually like, who do you want to see here? Like, do you have like any crushes from past seasons? For me, it was a bit different for me because I don't watch the show. So I only knew the Corinne, I knew Raven, I knew Alexis, just based off of, what I saw personality-wise. And I was like, wow, they seem like awesome women. They seem like people who, like, that you could be friends with. I feel like in any relationship, you need to be friends first. I'm not one of those guys, I'm not going to see you and be like, fall in love with, no, I want to, like, can we talk about the Yankees? Can we talk about, like, some basketball? Can we talk about, like, who's your top 5 artists of all time? Are we like Beatles, Stones? Are we Zeppelin? Like, you like Marvin Gaye? You like Luther? Like, I mean, who, do you like? And that's what I like about this whole experience is because you get a chance to mingle and you get a chance to see, like, what vibe, fits your kind of style. And, I mean, I loved it. It was very cool.
So were they encouraging, were they saying, like, have some drinks, and if you like somebody, flirt with them, and we'll give you some alone time? Like, how do they kind of tell you how to
Not really
proceed?
that. I mean, the producers, they're really smart, and, like, they don't force any drinks. They don't encourage anything as far as, like, hey, like, go hit on her, or hey, go do this. Like, they don't do that by any means. But if they do notice that, you and this person, they kind of have chemistry, they'll ask you, like, hey, by the way, like, who are you feeling? And then you're like, man, you know what? I'm feeling Alexis. Say, oh, wow, you know what? Man, her, she might be feeling you too, So it's one of those kind of things where you're like, oh, wow. And you can kind of feel their vibe. And then from there, if you do want to have, like, alone time, or you do want to, like, take her, like, on somewhere like to a cabana, and you want to go drink or go do this, you can ask the producer, hey, you know what, can you set up, a nice little cabana, some wine, can you set up this, can you have a camera there, just to kind of capture this, intimate moment. And it's very cool because it's like a vacation within the vacation of not being around, because, it kind of turns into the frat house in a sense with all the guys, and, like, the girls come over, but the guys are broing out. But at the end of the day, you want to get that rose. So you kind of want to break off all the, like, fratty nonsense and, be able to go on these little mini dates and excursions.
So describe that first moment of meeting Corinne.
The first moment was great. You know, it was very high and by.
Was it a group setting or was
Yeah.
it?
So when I came down the stairs, it was crazy because from the last season with the fake girlfriend of mine, I was like the villain for this, like straight up. I was nervous. I was sweating. I've never been. I'm the most confident person. Like I'm like Kobe in the clutch, extremely confident, and I was just like, oh, like I'm down here with all of Rachel's friends who already have all posted on social networks that they do not like me. And the minute I walk up, Raven goes, "Did you bring your girl?" And I laughed and I kind of said hi to everybody. I saw my castmates like Dean, Iggy, Diggy, Maddie, and then Alexis grabbed my hand and was like, "Let's take a shot." And she took me over to the corner and immediately I felt like a connection with her. And she's like, "Look, like, forget what they say. Like, we're gonna have some fun. We're in paradise." And it was like, the weight had been lifted off of me. And I get back, I bring 10 shots for the whole crew, and we all take a shots. And then from there, I made it a point to speak to Raven because I feel like Raven is like kind of like, she's like the leader in a sense. And I feel like getting to her and explaining to her who I am, what I'm about, and how it was alternate dating facts. And within 20 minutes, we're all brothers, sisters, and like Raven's like, I love you, you're amazing. Like, I'm happy that you were able to communicate this to me and like very like genuine, you know, a very genuine person.
How did you explain it to her?
I basically told her, I said, hey, look, I'm being 100%. A girl that I went out on a date with on Bumble, saw me on After the Final Rose, called into ABC, said she was my girlfriend. ABC didn't ask her for a picture of her and I. I'll give $100 million to the person who finds a picture of me and this girl. No picture. What's my middle name? We dated for 6 months. In that 6-month span, my father had got married. My 30th birthday party, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, none of which she was invited to. But when you're on national TV, you can't be that guy to say something, and I'm not gonna disrespect a woman. And I got caught off guard. It was like, oh, when I said who this, because it was a side profile, and I didn't know who she was.
Yeah.
Like, I really didn't. And I was, oh, you. It was a very, and you know, I'll accept that, L. I'll accept that. And the reason why I wanted to go on Paradise was for like the redemption. I wanted to prove to people like who I was, what I was about. Like I'm playful, I'm loving, and I'm smiling.
You're not this two-timing.
Yeah, I'm not, you know, I mean, I'm not that guy at all. You know, I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a cheater because I didn't have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a disrespect to the girls who I have dated. And because they were like, you dated a girl with a scrunchie? And I'm like, no, like, you know, I mean, my buddies covered my car in scrunchies the next day, by the way. It's something to this day, I still get like in my like DMs, like, yo, man, shout out to the scrunchie. Yo, you should get a scrunchie sponsorship. And I love it. I mean, it's funny to me. It's pure comedy. I would love it. I would love it. Like, it would be comedy. I'd grow out my hair, have my little scrunchie around, you know. But I mean, I kind of accepted that, and I liked it because it kind of painted a storyline for me, and it made people who were in Paradise, it made them want to like talk to me, want to like get to know me, and it's great because once you get a chance to like get a feel for me, like, you know, you're like realize like, wow, like I'm all about, I just want to have some fun.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, that was my main thing. I had my hype whistle at Paradise, and we just, you know, we were having a blast. It was amazing.
So then, Corinne, like your first conversation.
Yeah, so our first real conversation was at the bar, and you know, we were hanging out, and you know, we kind of were just complimenting each other on being like villains. You know, I was like, look, like I've accepted this role. Like in real life, I hang out with my grandmother on weekends. Like my granny is like my homie. She's 80, about to be 80 in August. Like we're homies. And I said, hey, she even told me, she goes, you could be a villain on TV, but you my grandson in real life. And I love it. It was fun. For me, it was more of like, okay, I'll accept that. Like it was kind of like when Hulk Hogan at the Bachelor at the Beach, when he, you know, did the whole NWO thing, and he went, you know, you like love to hate him, but you kind of loved Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you remember the villains. And we compliment each other on that, and we were just kind of laughing. We're like, oh, we're about to like dominate Paradise, like homie stuff, like really, really like friends. And then, you know, we started having a little bit more fun, you know, and, you know, had a few drinks, and then, you know.
So was this on the first day, or?
Yes.
You still on the first day?
This is the first day. This was about an hour or so in.
Okay.
You know, and Paradise hours, I mean, it's, you know, it's just like drawn out.
An hour is a week.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's extremely long.
Yeah.
And, you know, from there, you know, it was cool because, you know, I had my eyes on, you know, her and Alexis. And it was cool because they both had show interest, like, right off, you know, bat. And I was told by producers that they'll usually ask, like, hey, who do you want to see here? So obviously for me, both of them showing interest, it was like, wow, like, they must want to see me. So it was very cool because you go into the game plan as a very confident man, but you get there and you're like, I'm going home in 2 days.
Right.
Like these girls are gonna hate me, they're gonna talk shit on me, and then you get there and the two ones who you're interested in, they both show you some type of love. So you're like, wow, okay, this isn't, this isn't bad. I'm kind of digging paradise.
Because actually, when you saw pictures of them both before you even got there, did you fancy them?
Yeah, 100%. I like what I liked about, Corinne was her like, she just seemed very like she's had like kind of like the zero attitude, just very Corinne. She just very, she seemed very just out there, like a very spiritual vibe. Just I'm just gonna do me. I can care less about what anybody else thinks. I'm gonna be Corinne. And I like Alexis because we have the same personality, like goofballs, life of the party. I saw her and immediately thought like, wow, if I don't like try to like get with her, I want to be her friend.
Okay.
Because she just was that person. The first person, within seconds of me coming up, she grabbed my hand, let's go take a shot, and she welcomed me because she can sense my. It's kind of like Ricky Bobby. He didn't know what to do with his hands. I'm just kind of sitting there like, oh, I'm walking up, like, oh, I'm nervous, but be cool. And she sensed that, and like to this day, like we still talk. She's like, you were so nervous, man. I had to take you away from that. I felt bad because I know that you're much more than what you were portrayed like, on television.
So then, Corinne, you had that conversation at the bar.
Yep.
You were getting on well. Then what happened?
Like from that bar scene, it got a little hot and heavy. She hopped in my arms. We started making out at the bar.
Was she a good kisser?
She was a great kisser. To be honest, it was one of those things to where, like when you're a kid and like you hang up like, for me it was like, Beyonce on my wall, Aaliyah, you like see like these women who you like. Yeah. It was kind of like one of those things, like she's like a pretty big figure. And I had like, wow, like she's like gorgeous. And then it happens in real life. You're sitting here like, everybody's like, oh, paradise is starting now. Like, woo, we're like firing up. It was cool. I'm even looking at like the producers who have like been kind of like talking to me about this. I'm like, oh, this is working. This is, oh man. So I'm trying to like still be cool, but the same, like, like when you see like one of your buddies like doing something like making out and then like after you're finished, you kind of look over at your friends. Yeah. I'm looking at my castmates like, yeah, man, I got this, don't worry. I'm leading by example now. Because I told my buddies when we were there, I was like, look, we gotta like fire it up. We gotta have fun. You gotta get that rose. And at this point, we didn't know if the girls were gonna have the rose or the guys, but a birdie told me that the girls had them. So that's why, you gotta kind of, because usually the guys have them, but the girls had them first. So a lot of guys spend a lot of time broing out that first night, and when you brawl with the guys, you end up going home early.
So you're at the bar, you're talking, then what's happening?
At the bar, we're talking. She then hops in my arms, starts making out with me. But it was more of like one of those camera things. It was like cameras are all eyes on us.
Right.
And just like.
A dramatic.
Like just a Corinne moment.
Yeah.
Like based off of what I seen last season with Nick, it was a Corinne moment. This was one of the moments to where it was going to be like, oh my God, like everybody's going to be tweeting about it, Facebooking, Instagramming about it. It was a great moment.
Did you know kind of as it was happening, oh, this is going to get attention. This is going to,
The minute, our conversation leading up to that point was talking about like basically just dominating paradise.
Okay.
Like it was very, for her, she's just like follow my lead type thing. She was very confident and because I complimented her, I was like, yo, like you've like built your brand, you've built your everything off of these like wow moments. And my season with Rachel, even though I didn't last long, I had a lot of wow without even trying. And she's like, that's just who we are. Like people like us, like we say things, we do things. And I was like, wow, like I really didn't get that. And
so strategizing, would you say?
Yeah, I mean, at that point, for Paradise, it's all about strategizing. It's all about teaming up and winning. At the end of the day, like, if you're not first, you're last. And I didn't come to Paradise. I didn't pack all these clothes. I didn't pack all my swim trunks to be in Paradise for 3 days. Even though I wasn't in Paradise for 3 days, but
in the end,
in the end, I was there for 3 days. But I didn't come there to lose. And I couldn't go back home into my group chat with a loss because they were already clowning me so hard. They're like, dude, if you get cut first or like in the second and third week again, they're like, reality career is over. Chalk it up. Move to North Dakota. It's finished. Like you're terrible. You're
scrunchy factory
scrunchy.
Life.
Just like I'm like LeBron James in the finals, man. Like I just can't get over that hump. Like and it was cool because when you have somebody like her who kind of has. Like her and Alexis, from what I was feeling from the first day, having both of them like kind of like on your team or in your corner, I knew that it was going to be something that I was going to last long.
Right.
You know, I never once thought that I would be here talking to you. I would be in the present day, all of this madness, you know, right now.
So how many drinks were you having, and what kind of drinks were you having at the bar?
I mean, at this point, you know, I'm one of those people who I can document. I can tell you what I wore the first day of school, third grade. I have like crazy memory, like I'm like an elephant. You know, at this point, we're like 3 shots in and like a mixed drink. And I remember because I had my mixed drink in my hand when she jumped, and it was one of those like, oh, and like put it down on the bar. And from there, it was a very like, you know, when dogs piss on things and like to claim like the territory. I felt like that. It was like, I'm running this.
She's pissed on you, or you pissed on her?
I pissed on just all of paradise. Like I own this.
Okay.
Like this is me. Like I own it. Sorry, Chris. Sorry, like, you know, to Mike Fleece or whatever that guy's name is. Sorry to all the big dogs. Like I own paradise right now. This is my shop. Like I'm running it. And just having her in one arm and me just kind of like looking around, like panning the room, like hell yeah, like O'Doyle rules, you know, like we're here, like we're, you know, like, and it just was very cool. And all my buddies are looking like, wow, dude, you're like, and even like producers, all the cameramen, everybody's like, oh, like, you know, Paradise is starting.
Yeah.
And
was she keeping up with you drink for drink?
no, that's the thing is that the funny thing about this is that she snatched me away from Alexis. She did a Corinne moment. It was Alexis and I were actually talking, like you and I, and then all of a sudden it would be like somebody just coming in and just like, see ya, and Alexis really didn't care too much. Like she's like, whatever. She didn't think too much about it. And that's when she kind of came in, and that's when we started our conversation. And that's why I had my drink in my hand, and like, you know, we're just kind of talking, and then that's when she hopped in my, you know, arms, and then I put my drink down.
Did she seem drunk at that point?
No, that's the thing is that we had all just got going, and it was more, we were all like talking and mingling. It was like kind of like, you know, like when like a cocktail mixer first starts before, you know, everybody starts getting wild and crazy, and you're just mingling. You're meeting people who, you know, these characters, but you really don't know who they are as human beings, right? Like I know Alexis is like Shark Dolphin or whatever, and I know Raven's like the cute little Arkansas with the accent, and you know, I know like a lot of the other guys like Vinny and all of them, but I don't know who they are. Like I just know this persona that ABC has put out. And I'm actually getting to know Raven. I'm actually getting to know Alexis. Like she's a huge Yankee fan. I'm a huge Yankee fan. She agreed to name our firstborn Derek Jeter Jackson, which is like hell yeah, like let's get married right now, right? Like my mom said, anyone who agrees to that, I'll pay for the wedding. Mom, you're paying for our wedding then, you know? So it was cool. You get a chance to know these people. And the same thing with her and I. Like our conversation, it was flowing. It was like water, just straight up. Like, what's up? Like, how are you? Who is this? Where are you from? Never once did I sense like it was like this, you know, I'm reading reports that she's walking around like a zombie. Like that was later on in the night. We were all zombies by that point. But at this point, it was so early in the game.
What time was it in the day?
This is probably like around like between like 4 and 5.
Okay.
You know, it was extremely early, and we had all we're all arriving. We were like staggering in. So like the first person would come in. It was kind of like the Royal Rumble in wrestling. How like you come in and like a minute, 2 minutes later, somebody else is coming in.
Okay.
And a minute, 2 minutes later, somebody else is coming in. And they're just kind of like staggering in. At this point, we're all around the bar, just not really like going for it yet. We're just getting to know each other.
Although she's in your arms, right? Is she like, does she have her legs wrapped around
Correct.
you?
Yeah,
okay.
Like you know, like how they do, and like we're like making out. It's like one of those, you know, cheesy Hollywood films.
Yeah.
But you know, it was great for, you know, the time, and I was like, hell yeah, like, you know, I'm down for it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna like never. I don't think any, you know, single man. You know, some married ones wouldn't turn down Corinne. You know, she's a beautiful woman, and a lot of people think that she has like this dumb blonde, so to speak, and that's false. Like she's actually really smart. Like I gotta like really smart. Like I mean, she's telling us how she loves to bake pies and like her clothing line. Like she's very like calculated, and she knows that her particular dumbing down. It's people love that, and at the end of the day, we're all kind of like characters in a sense. Yeah. Like Leonardo DiCaprio, he's not Jordan Belfort. He's not the Wolf of Wall Street. He's Leo. You know, and I feel like that, we're reality, like TV personality, but we're a personality. Like for me, I'm not a villain in real life, but if you want to paint me as that, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But
if that's going to win you the game for this moment.
Yeah, then whatever.
So she's in your arms, you're drinking, you've had 3 shots
Correct.
and a mixed drink that you've put down at the bar. Then what happens?
She's like, let's go to the pool. Like, let's go hang out. I was like, all right, cool. And a part of paradise, from what I've like heard and from what, I read about and like, saw, is that it's all about like getting like the whole like couples thing. And I was hearing like just from people that like, look, the way to win back America is by getting like coupled up. They want to see you as not this womanizer, this guy who ABC first painted. And for that to happen, for her to let's go to the pool, I'm like a pig in shit. I'm so happy. Like, yes, let's do this. Like, I'm so pumped. I'm so fired up. It just was, it was a great feeling just being like, I'm ready for it. And it's crazy because when you're a man, mostly an African-American man, no matter where you're at, you always look for things that can help you out. And at that moment, I made sure that the cameras followed us. I don't know why. It just was one of those, my dad always says like, when things seem to be too perfect, like you have to, I don't know, I've just always thought about that. Like for me, it was kind of like, I played like basketball my whole life. And like when you try to cheat and when you try to like, get that steal, it's like the back door. I don't know, it just seemed too perfect in a sense for me. And at that point, that's when my spidey senses got up. And I made sure that cameras followed us, which all the cameras followed us. Like,
how many?
It was 2 cameras. It was like the light guy.
Audio?
Audio guy, oh yeah. The audio guy, it was like the broom guy. It was a producer. And they follow us up to the pool.
So 4 people?
Yeah, so 4 people, so it's like 8 eyes. And then you also have the back trailer, which has 1 million people watching that as well. And from there, we get to the pool.
Is it just you and her going to the pool? Is everybody else still at the bar?
Yeah. Everybody's still at the bar, just like her and I kind of going to the pool.
And what's the distance between the bar and the
So
pool?
the bar's on like the lower level.
Okay.
And the pool is like up some stairs, and the pool kind of overlooks the whole bar area.
So can they see, if anyone's at the bar, can they see what's going on at the pool?
No, but there was one part where a few castmates, we were in the pool, and I had my whistle around my neck, and I'm like blowing my whistle, and she's like on my back, and we're just like in the pool just being like straight degenerates. Just like having fun, just causing a scene. And at one point, 2 castmates that were down, Ben and Amanda, I'm like blowing it at Ben, because like Ben Z's from like the Bay Area, and I'm blowing like the Too Short, like blow the whistle. I wish I would've brought my whistle. But yeah, I'm blowing it, and Ben's like, yeah, like all fired up, and like, everybody is like fired up, and her and I were in the pool, like just fired up, just in there, just having fun. Like, and at this point, again, it's not like, I read something that she was limp in the pool. Like, what? This is, with all these people, it's like us, our situation right now.
Right.
And all of a sudden something happens to you and people are just like, nah, let it film. Like, that's not logical. Like, that's not smart. Like, it's not a smart thing for like these so-called journalists to just write these articles that are just, these are people that have worked in the industry from 5 to 15 years on like, on directing and like producing and stuff. And some of the things that I read about like her being limp in the pool, I grabbed her out of the pool and laid her on the ground and had my way with her.
I know. So you're in the pool, you're blowing your whistle, you're having fun, you're kissing.
Yeah, kissing, like, rubbing, like touching, like, it's nothing like too sexual yet, and then
what happens? And by the way, you can be graphic with me. I can handle it, don't worry.
Yeah. Things got wild because it was more of like her being like the aggressor, which was like sexy because it was like,
she knew what she wanted.
Yeah, when you have like a very like attractive girl who's like kind of like telling you like what she wants, it's like a very like, wow, okay, like, this is hot. Like, this is very, I like it. It was very, and because it's like her, and for the most part, it's like the cameras are around. This is like a very like an intimate scene, and it just, like again, like me thinking is like, wow, this is great. Like, I'm really like feeling this girl. Like, I'm into this. And then one thing,
she's touching you.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know how graphic I can be, but like
are you aroused?
This is actually the funny part. So we're in it's like the jacuzzi pool, like the hot one.
Right.
And I get every guy's biggest fear. I get like straight whiskey.
Okay.
Like, if I'm being like 100% honest, like, I'm in my mind, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like,
all the times.
I'm like, this is like missing the game-winning layup. Like, you're just sitting here like, wow. It's like, you know, you overthrow first, like the interception in the red zone. It's just, I'm sitting here like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, you've just failed life. Go jump off a bridge. I'm like overthinking. I'm like, kill me, kill me, kill
Yeah.
me. And she's like, no, it's okay. Like, whatever. Like, and then I get out of the pool and I have like my legs in the pool like this. And I'm kind of just like hanging out, you know, really. And then this is when she like gets up out of the pool and just like puts her lady parts like right on my face.
Okay.
Like, just, I don't know if I can say that.
No, you can. I mean, there's obviously the oral sex thing is
Correct,
something that's come
correct.
up.
Yeah.
So, but at that point, does she seem drunk?
No, I mean, I don't even know sober girls that can do what she did. Like, she, like, I mean, she, like, straddled me, like, put, like, her, like, right, like, on my, like, literally, like, smack dab right there. And I'm like, oh,
She pulled down her bikini bottoms?
well, yeah, I mean, we were already, like, naked at
Okay.
that point.
Okay.
We had been naked, like, the second we got into the pool.
Okay.
But the crazy thing about all this is that Jasmine, castmate, walked by when all this happened. And she went on the record saying this. She's like, I walked by, like, DeMario's blowing his whistle, annoying. Like, Corinne's like, Jazz. Like, they were, like, coherent. They were
Seemed
talking, lucid, like, seemed super normal. It was nothing out of the ordinary. It was two people in a jacuzzi, or like the pool jacuzzi, whatever it's called, hooking up. Like, it was nothing that had never been seen on Paradise before. It was nothing that, there was nothing like crazy or like wild. Like, we were both super coherent. Like, we were both, you know, speaking. Like, it never, like, for me, like 100%, like, I never once did it hit me like, man, this girl's too drunk. Because we were still talking. We were having like conversations. We were being like,
About what?
just any and everything. I'm talking about LA. She lives in LA. We have like, so I have mutual friends that live in her building.
Okay.
And it just was like a very like, oh, you're hot, you're cute, okay, cool. Like, so happy that we met. It was one of the, even Jasmine said, I thought you guys were gonna date. Like, she went on the record, like, she 100%. She's like, dude, you guys are cute. Like, legit, you guys really had like natural like, chemistry.
Yeah.
And from there,
So how long did that go on for, the oral sex go on for?
I mean, like, probably like 10, 20 seconds, like less than
Okay.
that, super like, you know, whatever. And then we kind of got back into the pool. We kind of like laughed about it. And from there, a producer had stepped in.
And so they're filming the whole
The whole
time.
thing, this is all being,
Right.
this is all, it was, now that I look back on it, I'm like, where were you? But at the moment, again, it's paradise. Like,
Yeah.
this is,
You're just in it. You're in
you're
this
in
zone.
it. You're
of,
in the, you know, it's the, you know, like Kyrie and LeBron from like Game 5 last year when they both put up like 40 plus, and like you interview them afterwards, and you're like, I mean, I'm an athlete. Like, I've had games where I'm like, wow, I was unconscious. Like, I just couldn't. Like, I just was hitting everything, and it was one of those. You're in the zone of like paradise, the hype, like
Yeah.
the build up.
the cute girl that you fancied before you even got
Yeah.
there, the whole thing.
Yeah, it just was a very like cool feeling. Like, I never, I mean, it just flowed. It was very natural too. It wasn't like people forced her, like it wasn't like her friends were like, go holler at him, and my friends were like, yo, go talk to her. It was very natural, and everything just kind of flowed, like the conversation, like, you know, we both had like the sexual chemistry as well.
Yeah.
You know, it was
Was
hot.
she slurring her words?
No, nothing. We had like a legit. Here's the thing: is that Alexis, Raven, and Jasmine all went on. They all were like, "Look, you were the guy who was getting us water throughout the night." When we were like that, like,
Right.
don't get me wrong, that night we went for it. Like, that night was probably the wildest night of my entire life. Like, we went for it. I mean, we just had fun, and we were just like, it was like, remember the Step Brothers scene when they're sleepwalking?
Yeah.
And they're just breaking. That was us. We were just like, at one point, we had to take our group picture. None of us remember taking it. Our group picture, we were just like, we're throwing at people, we're throwing crabs, we're throwing coconuts at people. We're just like having so much fun.
Wild
It just was,
Yeah.
it was fun. We were all locked up in our like hotel room, not locked up like that. We were all locked up in our hotel rooms for like 3 days to build the anticipation,
Yeah.
right? And we're locked up, and the producers are coming in like, are you guys pumped? Are you guys ready? Paradise is so cool. Wait till we, and then you get here, and everybody who you like, you know, who you like either liked or everybody who you thought you would like, it's flowing. It's like a great, you know, great chemistry. Now, with her and I, kind of like fast forward, you know, back to that. Once we had kind of like, you know, had like our little scene or whatever, it was kind of getting lined up, and we were getting ready to get lined up because Chris Harrison was coming to speak to us. So
Okay. So is this still around 5
this is like
o'clock,
probably like
6
around
o'clock?
5, like 6
Okay.
o'clock or so. So it's like I don't know, like really like it's around like the time frame.
Okay.
And, you know, it was like, oh, okay, you know, it's time to go. You know, Chris is going to be on his way soon. And we're like, cool. Like, okay. So I'm putting on my clothes, and one of the producers had like stepped in. Everybody's like, damn, man, you got Paradise started? And I was like, yeah. I said something about not kissing and telling. Like, you know, I said something like, it was like super funny, like a corny joke. And then all the guys, we all took shots. And I said something like, man, like, I'm Kobe and you guys are a bunch of smush Parkers. Y'all better step it up. And like Kwame Browns, and I'm like talking to them, and, you know, just busting their balls. Because at that point, they were all kind of standing around and just with their in their hands, just like, oh, like we're on Paradise.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like having fun with Corinne, you know? And like from there, you know, everybody's kind of like, you know, partying again.
And so does Chris come and talk to you all?
Chris comes and talked to us probably like an hour or so later.
Okay.
And no lie, between that hour, it was like go time. I'm talking about that hour span of like us leaving the pool and Chris talking to us. It seemed like we were just shooting it up. Just
Okay.
That's when we started to kind of get everything flowing. Remember like your first college football game, like freshman year, and you're just going and you just can't, you're just so happy to like tailgate, you're with all your people, you're with, you know, your best guy friends, you're with your best girlfriends, and you're with girls who you're trying to get with.
Yeah.
And at this point, we're like going shot for shot, just having fun. You know, it was nothing like forced. We were just having fun, like broing out. And the girls were like keeping up. Like at this point, we're like, all right. And this is when things started to turn for me. This is when like Alexis and I kind of started to become more of like a thing, because she was literally going shot for shot with me. Like at one point, we're like, let's go back to back. Okay, whatever, do. Let's go back to back. Okay, whatever. And then I remember when Chris arrived and when we all had to go up.
Hold on, where is Corinne though while you're doing shot for shot?
Oh yeah, I mean she's still there. Like, you know, she's still like just being, but she's like I was saying earlier, like, you know, she's like a free spirit. She's not the kind of person, like she's gonna kind of like claim her territory, mark her territory in a sense, and then kind of like go do her own thing.
So do you remember who she was talking to?
I don't remember at the time. I mean, we were all at the bar just all talking to each other.
Was she doing shots at that point?
Yeah.
Was she drinking more? Okay.
Yeah, she was doing shots at that point. You know, I mean, we're all just kind of going shot for shot, and everybody's, I mean, it's not like at this point, it's not like a couple thing yet. It's just, we're all mingling. And one of the things that I like about Paradise, actually, it was funny, like one of the articles, like, DeMario's gonna love Paradise because he got multiple girlfriends. So I'm like, hell yeah. And my whole thing was not really committing to like one thing, because for all I know, she might not have been into it. For all I know, I might not have been into it. So it was cool because we would always like kind of make the eye contact, like, you know, kind of like, you know, give like a hug or this and that, but I was still weighing my options with everything. And I want to say like after like an hour or so of us just, you know, drinking and walking up and down the beach and like we're playing football and all, volleyball and everything. Then we go up to Chris. And at this point, we're just like all drunk. And we waited for him for a while, and we're just all there just like, and at one point Chris is like, DeMario, get your together. Like, pick your head up. Where are you? Open your eyes. Corinne, get up. At one point, Derek had throw up all over his shoulder.
Oh my gosh.
Like literally all barf, because he had threw up like all over. And we're just like, bro, get it together. And like, Corinne's drunk, and like, everybody is like just drunk. But it's not like a bad, we're just Paradise. You know, it's nothing that TV's never seen before. It's like, you know, drunk homies. Like, it's nothing too crazy. And Chris is like poking fun at us, and like he's just like talking, then, you know, just being Chris. And then he introduces the new bartender, which is Wells. And I didn't know who Wells was, but I guess he was a guy from the previous season or something. And he got like a big bang, and everybody's like, oh my God, Wells. And, you know, we're all like super excited for that. And I was like pumped. And I'm like, wow, he looks like Jorge Posada, who's like a Yankee catcher. I was like, wow, like, you know, so I like the guy already. And it was great. It just, you know, all of us were like mingling and having fun. And
so the rest of the night, there have been some reports that Corinne was, that she kissed 3 other boys that night.
Correct. Yeah, at that point, you know, her and Derek had their little thing. She like came up, jumped in his arms, like slammed him to the ground, like all over him. And there were reports to other 2 guys. I didn't personally see the other 2, but all the girls and other castmates have said that, you know, other 2 guys. I only saw the Derek incident. At that point, that's when I'm like, oh shit, like I gotta go for Alexis now because like I've apparently lost my girl already, you know. But it's all like fun and games, you know. I mean, it's like I was told by producers and everybody just off stuff that I've read is like you can't catch feelings, like you can't be Drake, you got to be 100% Kanye. Okay. You know, you have to be Kanye, you cannot be Drake. You know, if you're Drake in Paradise, you're gonna leave early. If you're Kanye, you're gonna be ruthless, really not care about anybody but yourself, and ultimately win. So I was like, okay, cool. So at this point, that's when I kind of had shifted like gears and, you know, was going for Alexis 100%. But Alexis and I, we already established like earlier in the day, like we both jokingly, I was like, yo, by the way, you're friend zone, bro. She's like, oh, you're friend zone. So it was like our funny like joke thing. It's like, but we were gradually starting to kind of gravitate toward each other. Like strictly as like friends and homies, we would just make each other laugh like all night. We just, at one point we were the last people out that night throwing coconuts. Okay. Just throwing crabs at people, just whatever, just having fun. But
did you and her kiss?
No.
Not at all.
No, her and I didn't. Like the thing about her, and like she even like said, is that it wasn't like a. It was obviously like, you know, you have like the sexual chemistry because like she's attractive and like you have that. But for me, like I said earlier, it's all about friendship. Yeah. Like I genuinely, anybody that I you know am with, like I have to like get to know you. Like I can't just jump into something. Like, you know, like just. Man, I'm dangerously in love with you, and I don't even know you. Like.
So Corinne, with the other 3 guys, did she go off with them? Did she go into the pool with anybody else?
To be honest, I'm not sure. I mean, I can't say on that. I mean, I did. I mean, once like I saw the whole Derek thing, I just was kind of like, oh, like, you know, she's doing her thing, and I'm not the kind of person. You know, like sometimes like a guy buys you a drink in the club and he feels like he owns you. You know, I'm not that type of guy. I'm not the guy that's gonna be like lurking and being like. Hey man, I see you with that guy. You know, like remember what happened a few hours ago? Because in Paradise, like that's all. Like, you know, it doesn't matter. You know. Did
she seem jealous of you and Alexis?
No, like she's like in her zone. Like she could care less. Okay. And that's why I like Corinne, because, you know, she's the kind of girl to where I don't even like. She really feels like she's like probably like her and just Beyonce are probably the only 2 people in her world. You know, she really could care less about anything else. I don't think she's like not like a jealous type. You know, I don't take her as the kind of person who's gonna. So at the end of the day, I think she knows that she can like get any guy on the island, so she can care less about the whole being jealous or being petty or anything.
I know you were really drunk, so I don't expect you necessarily to notice this, but was she at the end of the night stumbling? Was she like seeming drunk?
There's actually a part where I heard that she had a busted knee, and Jasmine actually debunked that the other night. Jasmine said we all fell coming down the stairs, me, her, and Raven, and we all went to medical. Because I did read something to where it said after she got to the pool with DeMario, she was bruised and battered, and Jasmine and Raven were like, nope, that's false. We fell down the stairs that night walking, and all 3 of our legs got all bruised up, and we all went to medical.
What time was that?
I'm not sure. I just saw it. Some girl on Twitter was like, well, your best friend got drunk and this guy beat up her legs. And they're like, actually, we all fell down the stairs together. And they all kind of like, I mean, that's the thing with people who were there versus people who weren't there. You have these journalists, you know, who run these little blogs who, for the first like 2-3 days like of this whole Corinne DeMario, neither side had came out. So people were just, it seemed like every day it got worse and worse. You know, it's kind of like the telephone game, how it starts off like one thing and at the end you're like, what? Jerry Maguire dated Seth Cohen in 3rd grade? Like who, like what the hell? Like where did this, it just became, and I'm reading them because it's like more of, I'm trying to like, you know, I'm trying to like stay in tune with what is being reported. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Like this isn't what happened. It's like, I heard DeMario like, I beat up her knees? Like what, how does she, and then the girls are like, no, actually, we fell down the stairs that night. Like, it'll probably be on tape because everything's taped there. Okay. It's a reality TV show, but, you know.
So you go to bed that night?
Yeah, I went to bed that night, probably like around like 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Like, Alexis and I were like 2 of the last people. I think we were the last people out. Like at one point we were like, oh, it's only us and the cameras. And we're like, we had like a coconut toss. Like I grabbed a coconut, I'm sitting down. I was like, I'm not gonna throw this coconut further than you. She's like, no, you can't. She threw it like right there. And then I like tossed it like miles away because I'm like, I have an Aaron Rodgers arm.
So then next morning, what happened?
Yeah. Next morning was like it was the wildest morning because everybody wakes up like, wow, like hungover, dying. Everybody's like, just, wow, what was last night? Like just And I remember one of the first people I see was Corinne, and I was like, "Oh, your knee," and she's like, "Oh my God, yeah, like fell." And I was like, "Oh my God, like, are you okay?" And like we're like talking, and, like gave her a hug, and then we all went up and got breakfast together.
Okay.
And Benzie is like a big health freak, so he made this, well, like the chefs made this really cool green smoothie. It had like kale, asparagus, broccoli, mango. It just was bomb. And we're all like sitting around the table, and we're all like eating, and we're all discussing like the that was yesterday.
Yeah.
Like we're all just like, man, yesterday was nuts. Like, oh my God, do you remember like when this happened? Do you remember when that happened? And we're all just kind of discussing like all of like the madness. And remember, Corinne's right there. We're talking, and at this point, we find out that like like we have friends that live in the same like building in LA. She tells us one of her favorite things to do is like baking pies. We make fun of her. We're like, Corinne, you cannot do anything. I will never trust you in the kitchen. And we're like busting her balls about that. And she's like, no, I can bake pies, and I do this. And it was super like homey stuff. Like I never. It wasn't like she was weird or like standoffish.
She wasn't mad.
She wasn't mad. Like we were hanging out. I offered her a shot, but she said that the production had, cut her off from drinking for the day.
Why?
At the time, I didn't know, and I remember like kind of I was like, you want a shot? She's like, no, I won't drink a shot now. Like, I'll wait till later, whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, for sure. Alexis and I take a shot.
Okay.
But we were all like in the same. There's like one common area where you like eat breakfast and stuff. And we were all just kind of there like, okay, cool. And Alexis and I, we took a shot. Everyone's like, uh-oh, we're starting off early. And, it's paradise. We're having fun,
So, in subsequent reports, she says that she blacked out the day before,
Correct.
that she wasn't aware. But on that morning, the breakfast afterwards, was she reminiscing and saying,
Yeah.
like we were in a pool or we were doing this and I
didn't-
remember doing this?
She didn't necessarily say we were in a pool, but we were all talking about like how wild the previous day was. We were all like, like recapping. We were like, yo, do you remember when Derek was like dead with throw up on his arm? Oh my God, yeah. Okay. Do you remember when we took these shots? Yeah. So we were all like there, just kind of like remembering the wild, wild first day. And Wells actually was a new bartender, and Wells was like, dude, when I got in here, you guys were like going for it. It was very crazy to walk into because you guys were already at that peak level. And I'm the new bartender, like really don't have too much bartending experience. I really don't know how to man like, 20 plus people who are just like, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. But, we made it through. And we were all there, like all of us, and all discussing it. There was not at one point, and even the girls, again, I always go back to the reports because it was their words, not mine. The girls were like, yeah, like we discussed it. We talked about you guys hooking up. At this point, I didn't know this then, but I'm like, yo, I got kicked off a show for having a fake girlfriend. You came onto the show with a real boyfriend that producers knew about.
Were you feeling mad at this point?
No. I just found this out 2 days ago from TMZ.
Okay.
And I was like, what the, like, you guys ruined my whole season and painted this crazy picture. And it's one of the reasons why I'm in this situation that I am now, if you really want to, like, really, really break it down.
Do you think?
But, yeah, 100%. Because if they don't paint that crazy girl and they don't bring her into the show, I easily get super far with Rachel, and I don't have this bad boy type persona,
Right.
and I go into Paradise with a whole different, game plan. Or I could be engaged to Rachel right now.
Yeah.
It's one of those, because we had like great chemistry. Like we had very, solid things. And it's one of the things I tell the producers, just like homies, I'm like, yo, you guys really me. Like just I understand it's like reality and but like you guys really, really me. Like really. And that's the reason why I did Paradise, is because it was the whole like, the redemption, like, you get to have the last laugh. You get to kind of do what Nick Bale, whatever the hell his name is, did. You get to like, so I'm like, cool, like that's dope. I see how he was this bad boy villain for 2 seasons, then he went on Paradise, and so I saw that, I respected it. I was like, cool, okay, I can do that. And
do you think you and Rachel, without that, could have actually worked?
100%. We had like great chemistry. Like we were vibing. We had a great thing, and it sucks that the producers did that without even asking. I was like, dude, you guys could have either called my mom or my dad and be like, yo, can we just do one fact check? Like I don't know, even looking back on it, I go, what was she called in? I'm like, yeah, but like so many people call in per year, per season about people, and you guys never do this. Why me?
Yeah.
Like what was like the beef with me? Like what was the, you know, especially the way they did it was, it just seemed, it was very like sneaky. It was very like, ha ha ha, like, you know, let's do this. Let's make him a villain for the bigger picture, which is Paradise. And I was like, okay, cool. You
A
know,
target on your back.
yeah, for no reason. And this girl, like to this day, I told everybody, I was like, I have $100 million for the person who finds a picture of me and her. She
Yeah.
knows my middle name. Like I don't even know her middle name. She doesn't know where I live at. Like it was.
So you're back in Paradise,
Yeah.
morning after. At what point do you find out that filming is going to be suspended? And are there any clues before you
No,
hear
I don't.
that?
I call like mother's intuition. Like for me, I can get ready to go jump off a bridge with no parachute and no nothing. And I'm 10 shots in, my mom will text me, hey son, thinking of you. I'm like, how do you know this? Are you okay? I call mother's intuition, like, you know, moms just know everything. The day of, what was it, that Tuesday, I'm doing all my in the moments, like ITMs. And
So how many days after is this?
So now we filmed Sunday. So this was,
Okay.
we filmed all day Monday. We filmed like all day Tuesday.
Any sign on Monday, like any producer, did they come up to you and say anything?
Nothing. Everything was fine on Monday.
Do you and Corinne like kiss again on Monday? Does anything happen?
No, on Monday, like she had kind of started to kind of like mac on Vinny by now. This is like her like fifth guy, or I don't know. Like I don't remember. Not to like shame her or anything. Like, you know, it's Paradise.
Yeah.
I'm
This
the
is what's
last
meant
person.
to
This is meant to.
happen, yeah.
And this is like for me. That's why I don't like outsiders who aren't up to speed on like what Paradise is about. Like it's like encouraged. You can't get mad at Tom Brady for throwing the ball 45 times. He's a fucking quarterback. That's what they do. They throw the ball. You cannot get mad at that. You can't get like, and this is what Paradise is for. Like Paradise is for people to, you know, like try to see like what fits for you.
Yeah.
And you know, by now, like she had kind of went like full court press on Vinny, and her and Vinny they knew each other prior to this. So by now, like on Monday, it's all about locking up the roses.
Okay.
So by now, Monday was like, Alexis is like, yo, I'm giving you my rose. I'm like, cool. So I kind of told all the fellas, hey, by the way, like, I have my rose already. It's like, cool. Vinny's like, cool. Corinne's giving me hers. So now it sucks for the people who don't have a secure rose. So at this point, I'm not going to be the kind of guy to be like, well, I want Corinne and Alexis. Because like, I feel like that's shady.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, cool. I'll take, you know, Alexis' rose. You take Corinne's. By now, everybody's kind of getting like rosed up.
Right.
And, you know, Tuesday, it was never, I mean, we had conversations throughout the whole entire day. We were filming, like, we were like homies, like still talking. There was never like an awkward moment. There was never like a uh-oh, I kind of feel uneasy about this. Like, if anything, Tuesday, we got a chance to know each other a little bit more. Because, like, we were a little bit more sober, and we were actually, like, talking, and, you know, I mean, we had, like, obviously, we kind of both were like, hey, like, you know, you had a fun night yesterday. Like, you know, like, without saying it just was, you know, like, she's smiling, I'm smiling. Like, you know, you get the picture.
Yeah.
And what was that, Tuesday now? I'm doing, like, my ITMs, and I discussed this in the moment. Like, discussed it with a producer. He's like, dude, you and Corinne, you and Alexis. He's like, and this is, like, my boy. And he's a producer. Some producers know how to get me going. And like, once I get going, like, I'm not stopping. And my ITMs last forever. And he's like, D, he's like, first day legend, just like, how does it to be D? Like, let's walk us through. Like, you're Kobe, you're LeBron. Like, he's hyped me. He's like, he knows how to get me going. And I'm just like, dude, you know, like, I come in here and like, you know, I'm very confident with it. I'm like, look, you know, got Corinne and like, you know, now she's doing her thing, but I don't care because I have this. And we discussed it. And at this point, I know reality TV, all of this first day has already been chopped up. It's already ready to go to like the last form of like editing. Like they've already went over it. They've discussed it. So they've all seen it.
Yeah.
Nothing's wrong. Like, and all the big dogs. So that's why we can talk about that later. But that's why when this came out, I'm like, how is this? But so I finished up my ITM and I'm getting ready to like, you know, put on my clothes for like the rose ceremony and all that kind of stuff. And I do my ITM and like, D, so man, like, you know, again, he's hyping me again. Like, man, you know what? You know, you had Corinne the first night, now you got Alexis. Like, how's it going? I'm like, you know what? I'm super secure, I'm super confident, but I feel like ABC is gonna me again. My exact words. I feel like ABC is gonna and and he goes, what do you mean? I go, bro, I don't know, dude. I said, I feel like something crazy is gonna happen. I said, I don't know. I said, I feel like this is like the Kareem day, like all over again. Like they like set me up on the Kareem day. They knew that this crazy Bumble girl was gonna be here. But they all lied and said, no, she just showed up to the gym. I'm like, but they don't know. I already talked to my mother. My mother was like, she specifically called my mother on Facebook because she found my mother and she's like, I'm going to ruin your son. I'm going to call ABC. And then they're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. So whatever. So I'm sitting here, I'm telling like, yo, I feel like they're going to like screw with me again. I was like, Scrunchy Girl might show up. I don't know. I'm super confident about getting Alexis Rose, but I feel like there's gonna be like something weird's gonna happen. And he's like, no, D, like, you're good, you're calm, like, you're you, man. Just have some fun. I go, okay, cool. So I go back with the fellas and by now, like on the Rose Day, they keep us like kind of like, separated. All the girls are getting ready, the guys are getting ready. We can't have any conversation with them because they want to kind of keep so we're up there, we're just drinking and like having fun. And then one of the handlers comes over to me. He goes, hey, wants to talk to you. And my heart dropped. I'm like, you've gotta be kidding me. Like, you're just like, I'm sitting here like, I'm like, what could he want to talk to me about?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell's going on?
And
like,
what's his job?
It's like the number 2.
Okay.
He's actually the creator of Paradise.
Okay.
Like, he actually like came up with the conception of Paradise. So he's like a big dog. Like but he's like also my boy as well. So it could just be like bro talk. I don't know. But
has he wanted to talk to you before? Like, is that normal?
I've talked to him like just regular, but I haven't seen him all Paradise really. I saw him at the gym my first day there, and I hadn't seen him like all Paradise. He had kind of been, because he's more behind the scenes. He's not like he's like an executive producer. He's like under the executive producer. So like you rarely see him. He'll come, hey, what's up, guys? He's like super funny, so he'll always say like the most like wildest to you. Like he'll be like, oh, you wear skinny jeans. I thought you were a black man. Where's your at? Like, he's one of those funny guys like who always is talking. Yeah. So I didn't know. I was like 50-50. I was kind of like something crazy happened. Like I don't know. So I go into the room and I wait for like 30 minutes, and I'm in there like just sweating. Like it's already hot as there, but I'm like dying. Like anxiety attacks. I'm like, holy. He comes in. He goes, take off your mic. I'm like, oh. So he takes off his mic. He goes, do you love me? I go, yeah. Do you trust me? I go, well, besides last season when you guys me, like, yeah. He goes, I love you. Then I'm like, he's like, you're a great guy, D. You are a great guy. Here's what I'm gonna need you to do. I'm gonna need you to bow out tonight at the rose ceremony. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm gonna need you to bow out. I'm gonna need you to tell Chris and the crew that you love them, you're thankful. However, you're not here for the right reasons. I'm like, what the like you like straight up. I'm like, you guys played me last season, like just brought in some random. He's like, I know. I'm like, Elon, why? He goes, I can't tell you. I said, why? He goes, let's just say I know things and it would just be best. And I'm like, what do you know? He's like, I just know things. I said, what do you like? I'm like, if you could tell me that you know things, but you can't. He goes, I can't tell you what I know, but it's gonna be bad if you don't leave tonight. And I'm like, what the? I'm thinking like now, I'm like, what do you mean it's gonna be bad? Like I'm confused. But he has this like smirk on his face. And now I'm thinking like, did he hear me in the ITM? Is he just busting my balls? I don't know. I'm a little confused. So I'm like, can you tell me? He goes, let's talk in 30 minutes. I'm like, all right, cool. So 30 minutes goes by, no conversation.
I mean, you must have been like...
I'm dying. I'm literally dying in the inside. Because I'm sitting here just thinking like, what happened? Like what?
Could possibly explain.
Like what the hell is going on? And I have so many things running through my mind right now. Like so many things. And what's funny is that at this moment, the whole Corinne incident starts coming back in my mind. And I'm like, okay, there was right here. There was a camera. There was a hand. Like I'm replaying it in my mind. And I'm like, okay, we're good with that. Like there's no way that it has to do with this because there were people there, plus that scene's already chopped and screwed and it's already delivered. Like we're good. So I'm thinking like, okay, what else? I'm like, all right, what'd you do yesterday? Yesterday was like a pretty solid day. You did this, you did that. Today you did this. Like I'm trying to play through I'm running through like, after you lose a game, after you run through, you're like, oh, I could have hit that layup or I could have hit that pass or I could have, and I'm running through, I'm like nervous. So at this point, I go up to Matty, Matt's like my big bro, like on like the show. And like, he's like one of my castmates from last season and we just hit it off. And I'm like, Matt, they're trying to me, bro. He's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't know. He's like, dude, just stay calm, stay cool. I got you. I don't know what's happening, but if I hear anything, I'll let you know. So I'll go up to my producer. I'm like, bro, what's going on? He's like, I don't, what's up? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. And I go up to Alexis. I tell her, I was like, yo, I don't know what's going on. Whatever happens, know that I love you. We're getting married, like jokingly, like, Derek Jeter, like, she's like, what's going on? And she's like, so she's asking around, I'm asking around. Now I go to, which is like another producer. I'm like, bro. And it's like, dude, I don't. And one of the first things and then they had told us in the first season of Bachelor is that sometimes he's like, sometimes I know things I don't communicate with anybody on the team because I don't want them to lie to you guys. So he's like, sometimes I can know something and not one person will know but me. So I'm asking the producers, I remember when he said this, so I'm like, that's fine. I understand that, I get that. And I'm hanging out at the bar, we're taking shots, we're like drinking, we're like all mingling, like rose ceremony. And all of a sudden I go grab some food and he's like, hey, can we speak offline? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And then all of a sudden I walk up the hill and you got the executive producer standing right there. And I don't know, like, I'm like aggressive as right now. I'm like blacked out drunk, livid because they're gonna like screw me again.
And you know it.
And I know it. They're gonna screw me again, like straight up again. And it was weird because I don't know I just don't know him. I know everybody else. So it's like, for me, it's more of like it's like, if you're gonna me, like, make sure it's you. Don't be a coward, like not to be like one of those, but be a man. Not saying that women can't do it, but be a man. Like, if you're gonna screw me, like, it's like in Blow when like Boston George and like, everybody like they screwed him and he's like, look, am I wearing lipstick? Like, am I pretty? Like, make sure I'm sexy when you screw me. Like, don't screw, like, why? I said, who are you? I was like, okay. I was like, I'm not talking to you. Like, where's, I'm like, I'm not, I'm the exact, I was like, I don't give a who you are. Like, I don't know you. Why are you coming up to me? Why are you like, I was like, dude, do you know my situation? Do you know what happened to me? Do you know how you guys have made this last like 2 months for me like hell? Like, people like call me cheater and like all this stuff that's not true. And I get a chance to come here to redeem myself. And now what? He's like, well, we need you to just, go back to the hotel room to breathe, to calm down.
Were you angry?
I was angry, yeah, because I was angry because I was getting a raw deal again.
You knew it, yeah.
And I knew it. I didn't know what it was for. And I'm kind of sitting here, I'm going back and forth. And it was very calm. And the next day, like, I'll tell you more. But the next day when we spoke, I was very apologetic because I was like, dude, I'm like, Jim, to drink a bottle of tequila myself. Like, and like all of a sudden you wait. For me, it was the waiting all day. You knew this. This wasn't something that just happened at, 11:30, 12 o'clock at night. You knew this morning.
So you see, you're at the top of the hill, you're having a conversation. He says, go back to the hotel room.
He's like, go back to the hotel room. There's some things that are happening. We're trying to figure out what happened. I said, what? He said, well, a third party person, at this time, I don't know if it was castmate, I don't know if it was a producer, hotel employee, a third party person filed a complaint about you and Corinne's sexual activity in the water the other day. I'm like, what? He's like, a third party. I said, I was like, do they not, what show we work on? This is Paradise, right? I was like, are we not even, like, is having sex? Have we ever not filmed that? Oh, we filmed having sex. So what's the, like, we didn't really go forward and actually have real sex. We had like oral sex, but it wasn't real sex. And he's like, yeah, I know. I was like, so what is it? I was like, what? Like the black man with the little white girl? Like, I'm just calling a spade a spade. It's like, is that, I mean, I don't know. I was like, so what's the, I was like, okay, so you work at Staples Center as like a peanut passer out or a concessions guy. You can't get mad at Kobe for dunking. That's what they do at basketball games is they dunk a basketball. Paradise, you hook up. That's what you do at Paradise. Mm-hmm. This isn't some Christian mingle TV show on the Jesus channel. Like, this is Bachelor in Paradise. Mm-hmm. Like, people have sex here. Like, we're all adults. That's what people do. If you're upset about people having sex, go get another job. Mm-hmm. And he's, yeah, I know. So why do I have to go home? Well, we're just taking precautionary reasons. I'm like, what does a third party have to do with Corinne and I? Did she consent? Yeah. Did you consent? Yeah.
Did you ask him that?
Yeah, I asked him that.
Did she consent?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, well, she didn't say anything. I was like, so why are we caring? Like what? Well, it's a work, it's like a workplace environment. Man, we take these things serious because, and I'm like, so was it a castmate? Was it a producer? He's like, well, I can't say that. I said, okay. So I get into the van, and I go back to the hotel room and I'm like pacing, like just all night, just all night, just pacing. The next morning.
So are you in the hotel room by yourself?
Yeah, by myself.
They just left you there?
I mean, but that's like, it's kind of like because they didn't want me to be on set for whatever reason.
Okay.
And at this point, this was when I knew stuff was starting to turn for the worse, because I'm in the hotel room and I have like, came up there with me. He's hanging out with me. He was also hanging out with me.
The producers.
Yeah, like, the producers. Dr. Selden comes up because, like, she always, like, just comes and checks in on people. And, they're just, it's a very weird conversation because they don't know too much. And I'm asking all the questions and they don't know anything. And I feel bad because I'm like, what the f- is going on? Why is this? Why is that? And they're like, I don't know. Like, I feel bad because I was raised by all cops. My whole family is in law enforcement. My dad, 6 uncles, grandpa was an FBI agent, aunt. So I can interrogate with the best of them. And like, when you're lying, I can tell that you're lying. And when you're lying, I'm gonna keep making you repeat yourself, and I'm gonna call you out on your lies. And they're just lying. And it'd be one thing if they're like, I don't know, but just don't lie to me. It's like, so why am I here? Oh, third party. And then why am I here? Oh, we don't know. Fifth party, sixth, like, they don't know, but just keep it real. Like, keep it 100. Like, let's do that. And I'm just asking, like, why me? And for me, I'm not the kind of person that brings up like, oh, black man in America, this and that. But at this point, I'm thinking, like, what else could it be?
Yeah, it
what
feels
else
like
could
a
it be?
race thing, right?
It's 100. It's like, what else could it be? Like, it's the white girl of the franchise with the black guy, and somebody didn't like it for whatever reason. I don't know if it's a cameraman. I don't know if it's another castmate. I don't know if it's a hotel person. I don't know anything. All I know is that
Are the crew predominantly white?
yeah, predominantly like all white. There's one black producer, and his name's my boy. We have the Cal connection. My dad played football at Cal way back when I played football, and we grew up in the same area. We both have mutual friends, and we had the instant connection. It was, especially for Rachel's season, there was a lot of, we call them short hair people. There was a lot of us. And it was great because it was like 12 of us. And for me, the cool thing about Rachel's season is having 12 educated, well-spoken African-American black men on TV.
Yeah.
It's something that rarely happens. Like, we were in suits, we were in ties, but we weren't like NBA, we weren't rappers. We were like, executive recruiters, and, people who graduate from Northwestern, lawyers, doctors. So it was very cool that little boys and girls of color could see us on TV, which is great because they really don't see that a lot.
Yeah.
And it was cool. It's even cool for me when I'm at the gym and I see kids come to me, man, I saw you on TV, man. You look really cool in your suit. And then they see me in my Jordans and stuff. Like, it gives them hope that they don't have to be like fit this particular stereotype like 24/7. It's like they see me at the gym and then they see me on TV and they're like, wow, that's so cool, Mr. DeMario. And I'm like, oh, you call me Mister. Like, you've aged me, but I love you. You've aged the shit out of me. I mean, my little cousin tells me when I turned 30 last year, he goes, wow, you're like a real adult. It's like, what do you mean? He's like, man, you could probably whoop me. And I'm like, dang. Like, he goes, man, you're almost not cool. You're like my dad. And my uncle's like 53. And I'm like, dude, what the hell? But I'm also like the cool cousin, man. But yeah.
So let's go back to that hotel room.
Okay.
So you're in the hotel room, you're there all night, you're pacing all night.
Yeah.
You still don't know.
I don't know. I'm pacing all night. I'm confused. All I know is a third-party person. It seems fishy to me. Like, I mean, just growing up, if you guys know my drill sergeant dad, my dad's the coolest dad ever, by the way. He's like, you would never know he's a cop. He would come in here like, you would never know he's a cop, but he's a drill sergeant. And he's very, like, I mean, when I go into places, I spot all exits. I just can know, I'm like Jason Bourne when I go into places. This way, that way, what she's wearing. I can spot every car on my block. That's why paparazzi's been following me this whole time. I'm been spotting them like, oh, hey, paparazzi, because I know all my neighbors' cars, aunts, uncles. It's just a really weird trait. So I'm pacing back and forth, and I'm playing it over in my head. I'm going, okay, third-party person, Corinne. Like, they had to have seen this. So now I'm thinking, okay, I know the cameraman. I think the guy had a Cubs hat. He's a Cubs fan. Okay, the other guy was the audio guy. I was like, I think he's a Dodgers fan. I'm like, man, like I don't really see them doing it. He was there. He's a producer. I'm like, I don't think Eddie. I'm thinking like, I'm just trying to figure out like why me? Mm-hmm. And the only thing that keeps coming to my mind is like, it's not a race thing. It's a race thing. It's not a race thing. It's the race thing. It has to be, because even when I told him, eyes lit up like, oh, like I don't know, like, but he didn't say it, and I'm just thinking like. I asked him, have you guys showed sex before on this TV show? Yes. Like, have you, I mean, was there anything I didn't know? It's like, so why have you guys?
Yeah, what is it that's different?
What was different? And I asked him, I said, was it, I was like, have you guys ever shown like interracial? And he's like, I don't know. And I don't know because I don't watch the show. So I don't know if there has been interracial couples. And I don't know how far their, sex went. But my whole thing is like, why not come up to me on Monday night, Tuesday morning,
And
Tuesday
so
afternoon.
What happened yesterday was inappropriate. Why wait 48 hours?
Why wait? Now I pace all night. I pass out for like an hour or two, come back into the room. It's like, what's up, D? Like, I still don't know. He's like, I know you think I'm full of shit. I know you think I'm lying. I really don't know. But I don't want you up here alone. I want to hang out with you. Like, me and him, we had like a good cry out. I just cried I don't even know why I cried. I was like sad as I was really sad because my narrative again is screwed by by ABC. Like again, I'm like, what did I do to whoever's like, did I like date your daughter and like dump her? Like, what did I do besides give everybody love? Like, I'm the one person on set who they tell us not to talk to the cameraman. I talk to the cameraman still because like, when we have intimate scenes, like they're like, cameraman are like the fixtures. And I'm still talking, I'm like, yo, the Cubs had a killer team last year, bro. Like, Yankees gonna whoop them. And like, and I'm thinking like, what did I do wrong? At this point, I'm becoming like, it's kind of like a woman who's been cheated on 1 million times and like divorced 5 times. She's like, am I not like do I not deserve love?
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like now. I'm like, man, I put myself in a very vulnerable situation by coming onto national TV to find love. I then get outed by some crazy Bumble chick. I'm then back on here to find love. In the first episode, I get kicked off and I don't even have opportunity to do anything.
Do you feel used and manipulated?
I felt used. I felt like, for me, knowing how they set up everything on the first season, I was like, oh, like they kind of did this whole thing again with me, like being like, again, I came in, like, it looked like I was going to win with Corinne. It looked like I was going to win with Alexis. Just kidding, you're going home the first night. So at this point, I'm just like, I'm over everything. I'm just like, just send me home. Like, I don't even want to be here. And comes in, gives me a little bit more information. I'm now sober. He just was like, all right, D, well, we can't have you on the show. Just like that. Because I asked him, I was like, don't lie to me. Like, keep it real. And he's like, we can't have you on the show. I was like, why? Like, what did I do wrong? And he's, well, it's just when these claims, and I'm like, but what claim? What did this person see that you guys didn't see? Like, you're the executive producer, right? You have 15 plus years in this industry. So you mean to tell me that an assistant producer who's been working for one season?
So has this person never been on Bachelor and Paradise before to know what normally goes on? Like, was it just that it was shocking to this?
I'm not sure. I'm like, what did this person see that all you guys with all this experience didn't see? Like, who the hell needs to lose their job if this person who just started working, this rookie, can tell these producers who've been doing this forever? At this point, I don't know if it's guy or girl. So I go, did this person, what did they see? He goes, I don't know. Because I watched the video 1,000 times. And yeah, it's raunchy as shit, and it's softcore porn in a sense, but it's nothing bad. It's not, and I'm like, so what is it? And again, I asked him, is it race? And he's, I don't know. I don't know.
So tells you that you have to go home.
Yeah. The thing I liked about was he was so sincere. Like, he had tears in his eyes. We spoke about the possibility of 300 people not having a job. And I felt horrible. He was extremely genuine. Like, I can tell he was confused. I was confused. I can tell that he really didn't know the full story himself. And it was just a very like man-to-man. He's a tall guy too. He's bigger than me. And gave me a big bear hug. Like, I got tears in my eyes. He has tears in his eyes. But I'm still thinking man, this sucks. I came to Paradise to find love and meet new friends and to make America smile again. And to mingle. And the last thing I wanted to do was leave here as the guy who could possibly this could be shut down. I didn't. It just was really weird just thinking damn. I never thought that.
So hold on. So he said that you had to go home. Did he say then that
I'm
production was going to be suspended?
No. So he said that it's a possibility. He said at the time he's like, production for me, like, you know, I'm no longer gonna be like, you know, like filming on the show. And I was like, so like, what's going on? He's like, to be honest, I don't know. He said, we're gonna stop shooting and that production might be shut down. He said at the time, like, you know, he didn't know like how long the investigation was gonna go on. He didn't have like any insight. Like, he's like, look, I flew in like however many hours ago. I'm in the same clothes he was in the same clothes from yesterday. He's like, I've been on the phone with lawyers and I'm trying to figure out what the hell happened myself. And it just was a very like, at this point, it's like you know, I'm very like upset for like selfish reasons, right? But then I realized that 300 plus people, like there's some people who need this month's check. There's some like mother and father who probably won't be able to make like their bills in July. And I'm not that kind of person. You know, I'm the kind of, like, last thing I want to do is come here and be like, yeah, let me get wild and crazy in the pool. And then everybody loses their jobs. Never once thought that. Like I never, and he's like, look, you can't be mad at yourself. He's like, this isn't something that we haven't seen before. This is something that hasn't been done on TV before. Like, we're all big boys and big girls, but unfortunately, this one person, and because it has something to do with sex, and because it is, you know, like, I mean, because it has something to do with like the workplace environment. And he broke it down to like, look, if you work at like Sam's Club or like Costco or some shit, you overhear this and that, and if it goes to HR, you have to act on it because you don't want to be that person to not act on it because then it gets ugly.
Yeah. So did you get to see your castmates and Corinne
No.
before you left?
That was the most challenging moment ever. Is my last time speaking to a castmate was Alexis, and I told her, hey, be right back, I'm gonna go get some food. She's like, okay, I'll meet you up the hill. And then I just disappeared. It was like the end of Blow when he told his daughter he's gonna take her to California. And then like that scene gets me every time. I'm like, oh man, this is tough. And for me, I didn't know what my castmates were thinking. I didn't know how I was gonna be perceived. I didn't know. It was weird because at this point I'm mind myself and I'm like, God, like, what are they thinking? I ruined their summer. Like, nobody has a job now, or they're filming without me. Like, they're having so much fun. I'm off the show. I gotta go home. I packed all these fly clothes. Like, there's so many range of emotions that's going on. I'm just like blasting Kanye West like in my room. That's like my like safety net. I'm just blasting, just like, and he's like, okay, you know, we'll get you a flight. And you know, the handler came up, super nice. The thing is with the show is that everybody, it's like a family. Like we're really family, you know. And even through all this whole process, people have reached out to me that could have lost their jobs by talking to me through this whole process, and they're like, my job, I love you, are you okay? And for me, it was very cool because I'm like, damn, like that, it's much more than like reality. Like, people will be in the comments section talking about how fake we are and how scripted and this and that, but it's not. Like, we're like family. Like, we're, you know, we hang out together, we party together, like we like each other's pictures, we go to each other's birthday parties. And this is all off of just the Bachelorette. Like, I hang out, like, those are my brothers. Like, I hang out with them like all the time.
So you fly.
So to like leave that without anything, you're just like, gotta go. You know, I'm like, can I tell them bye? And they're like, no. I even asked them, I was like, can I go to the set and say bye? He said, I'm sorry, you can't. I'm like, damn, like that really, it stings because I'm like, this is the first couple of days and I'm like, I got a whole month of being without my people. You know, it just is very, it sucks.
So you get home. At what point does it hit the press?
I get home on Thursday and it hits the press on Sunday night. I got a call by a producer that was just like, hey, it's about to get real fast. And I hang up my phone and holy my group chat was on fire. Like, what did you and Corinne do? You guys broke paradise. Next thing you know, I'm like my contact at DeMario Jackson was so lit. I feel like Beyonce, like announcing that she had the twins. It was nuts. At one point, it was just like, I'm like, oh my God, this is, how'd you, and I'm getting calls and calls. This is Sunday. And I'm like, this was when I was pacing and my dad's like, my dad's like, so, like, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know. And I looked at him, I'm like, I think I need a lawyer. And mind you, I had told him what happened when I got home, like, hey, yo, Pop, like, because I'm not thinking anything like legal. I'm just thinking like, dang, like, I got a little too turned up, got wild in the pool, and I got kicked off the show. Yeah. I didn't think anything. It was more of like, damn it, D. Like, even my stepmom was like, you know what? You need to get your together. Like, you can't last on these shows for nothing. Like, it was fun and jokes. I never thought I would be here with you guys.
So those words, sexual assault.
Yeah. It's every man's biggest fear. Like, no man wants to be, like, attached to that. Because it's, like, that ruins you, like, for life. That's something that sticks with you. When I have children one day, regardless on everything that comes out yesterday, when I have children one day, they're going to Google their dad's name, and this is going to pop up. That's my biggest fear. I have a goddaughter who is going to Google me one day, and, like, that's going to pop up. It's not who I am. It was to see that, like, fly across the screen. I was the #1 trending person in the world for 3 straight days. The f***ing world. DeMario Jackson, like, for the wrong reasons. Like, literally, like, it was nuts, especially when you know that there's tape. And at this point, I've spoken to people who have watched the tape, and they're like, dude, like, you're in the clear. Everything you're saying is right. This is not sexual assault. So now, this is when things start to get crazy, is because the producer never watched the tape. The producer was not present to watch the tape. She overheard. And now you're like, wait a minute, what? Like, what the hell's going on? I'm sitting here like, wait, what? She has never watched the tape. She wasn't even present while this was going on. She heard over a walkie-talkie later on in the night when Corinne was drunk that Corinne and DeMario hooked up. And I'm like, what about 3 other guys? What about them? Like they're, they say they Black Lives Matter, all lives matter, all hookups matter. Like, is it like, is it just like my hookup that matters, or is it like the other hookups that matter? Like, what's the why, why was it just specifically like, DeMario hooked up with Corinne? Why wasn't it like?
So you are a sexual assaulter.
Yeah.
In the eyes of the public.
Correct.
She releases a statement and says she's a victim.
Correct.
What is going on in your head?
Conspiracy. Because it goes back to the very beginning when she came up to me, hopped in my arms, led me to the pool. It was one of those, it's like a movie. Like at the end of Usual Suspect, Kaiser Sose, and you're like, oh my God, oh like, and he's like, the biggest trick the devil ever did is convince the world that he didn't exist, and like, he walks away. It was like that. I'm like, by now I'm realizing that I got played.
By her?
I'm not her, just I got played in general. Like, I'm not sure by who, but I got played and filing a complaint for sexual misconduct on a video that she never saw. Like, how can I tell you if Beyonce's twins are cute if I've never seen a picture of them? How can I tell you what Kobe Bryant's room looks like if I've never been in it? Like, like some Stevie Wonder. Like, it's crazy, because I'm sitting here like, wait a minute, all of these stories are flying out. Then all of a sudden you find out she has a boyfriend. And she promised her boyfriend that she wasn't going to cheat in paradise. But she cheats in paradise. I mean, and again, it's easy for the public to like get angry and like to get mad with the big black man. We've been, like, the media has portrayed us so poorly for like years. Like, right? Like, black victims who get shot, they will put up a mugshot from '87. Yeah. You got the Stanford rapist. They talk about how fast of a swimmer he was, and they put up a nice old, he's a great swimmer. Philando Castile was shot, in a concealed weapon. Like, it's like, so like we are painted so bad in the media and in the public. So the minute you release this, like, this black man's face and this white girl's face, before either of us commented on it, I was already like a rapist, and like, like I was like excuse my French, and a monkey, and she's a whore, and she's a slut, and they were slut shaming her because of what she did last season with Nick, and all of it. It just was, for me, it was, again, back to the human race. Like, we failed. Like, people were just angry. Like, it was like black people didn't like her and white people didn't like me, and people were mad because Bachelor in Paradise. And instead of waiting for the facts to come out, we started to just form all of this. And I'm reading articles. It was one article I read. It was like, her producer friend tried to stop me from sexually assaulting her, but the producers blocked her friend from coming in. It was like, this is like WWF. Like, this is somebody's like, what? How is this happening with all these professionals around, with people with these years and years of experience? I just think, like, American public, we lack common sense.
You must be so angry.
You know, I'm one of those type of people, it's very difficult. Like, even in a moment like this, I'm thinking about Philando Castile, whose mom and dad found out that this cop who murdered him is going to be getting off for murder. That was on tape. I just found this out that day. Like, my favorite quote is, "I thought I was walking in bad shoes, so made me a dude with no feet." And even through all of my like darkness, like yesterday, like I woke up and I thought my day was shitty, and I found out one of my favorite rappers of all time had died from sickle cell. And I'm like, damn, like there's children waking up without fathers. You know, there's mothers waking up without husbands, and there's parents who are burying their children. And yeah, like my situation is terrible and it's like horrible, but I'm thankful enough to be in a situation to where I can get the correct help. I can get, you know, PR, I can get legal. I have a great family. I have a great support system. Like, there's people out here who are in my situation right now who will be in jail because they cannot and they don't know. So yeah, I was angry and like triggered and very upset, but you know, my dad, he kept me calm. You got this. Like, you know, he's like, look, you know, as your father, as your hero, if I was to crack under pressure, you crack under pressure, right? If I was to show weakness, you show weakness. And yeah, it hurt to see my son crying and to see, like, you know, my mom, my stepmom, but at the end of the day, like, men lie, women lie, but the tape evidence never, you can't front on tape.
When did you last speak to Corinne?
I spoke to her since like Tuesday. You know, there's been reports that
like
her and
2 days ago?
No, Tuesday, like last Tuesday. Yeah. And there's been reports that we're dating, we're hanging out, like, all these, it's like, I made fun of Trump for so many months about fake news, like, right? I would like bust his balls, like, Trump, come on, bro. And I'm witnessing it. Like, I feel him. I feel you, Trump. Like, you know, like, legit. Like, I really feel him because it just sucks.
So you have not spoken to her since you left?
Correct.
If you could speak to her now, what would you say to her?
That I love her and I'm here for her. Like, she's experiencing like the same thing that I am. Like, you know, I mean, I feel bad for her. I feel bad for her family. Like, I genuinely feel that way. Like, I feel like she was given wrong information, or she was a part of something that was much bigger. I don't know. But I'm like a loving person. I don't have like an angry bone. I'm not the kind of person, it takes so much to dislike people. I could, like, if I don't like you, I don't like you, but I'm not gonna, you know, those people, like, I always ask people when I go on a first date, like, what do you like? And based on their answer, I always see if I go on a second date. And usually it's funny, when you ask people what they like, they'll usually start talking about what they hate. It's weird. They'll be like, oh man, I like peanut butter, but you know what, I hate jelly, you know? And then you're like, wow, like they, and I don't have enough, like, I have so much love in my like body, even through all this experience. If she walked in here right now, I'd give her a hug.
But, and I'm not trying to make you say anything you don't want to say. I'm just trying to like get it in my head because so if the person who complained is a friend of hers, and if she had a strategy, and you're the person that, and you know, and she knows what the truth is, you're not mad at her at all. You don't think she is a part of that at all when you've been victimized?
I mean, I'm mad at this situation. I feel like that in a, like, she's a very smart girl, and I feel like that this was something that was, I don't know, there's so many different angles and scenarios. I mean, I would like to really ask her, like, what happened? Like, did her parents really cut her off, and did she want money? And like, did her boyfriend really say this? And I just want the truth. I would love to sit down and speak to her, like, yo, what's up? Like, what made us go from like, people thought we were gonna be like dating and like this couple and like we were homies. If anything, if we didn't like do anything, like we were gonna be friends. What happened between like that Sunday and like now? From like, I don't remember. Like, what do you mean you don't remember? Like like you talked to your friends about it like that same day and the next day. Like, how don't you? And that's the thing about like these type of situations, that this is all on tape. Like these women who didn't like me prior to me coming onto the show, who have known me for 3 days, went to bat for me over their friend who they've known for almost a year. You know, like Raven said it best. She goes, like, real is real. Like, I'm not gonna let you ruin somebody. Like, I love you to death, Corinne, but that's not right. That didn't happen.
Do you think she tried to ruin you?
I don't know. I'm. What is there to ruin? Like, it's not like I'm like Jay-Z or Kobe Bryant or something, and this is something like I don't get it.
No, but
I don't.
you're still a guy who has to sit down and explain to your father and to your mother that the world is like calling you a sex abuser.
That's true. One thing that I've noticed in all of her real ones is that she's saying like, you know, she doesn't remember, and she's saying like she doesn't blame me. She blames the production.
Yeah.
But at the same time, saying that you don't remember is kind of like saying, I don't know. It's a very, you know, it's like a gray area. Like it's extremely, like I get what she's like, you know, I get what she's doing. Like, you know, she's being very smart, like wording certain things to like be like, look, I don't blame DeMario, but he is a piece of it, but it's more on the production of like the neglection and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not into that. I let my like lawyer and everybody handle all that. But I don't know. It's a very.
I mean, because you sat with her the morning after and had breakfast with her.
Yeah.
Reminisced with her.
Yeah, we have fun.
And now she's saying she doesn't remember. Like, is she lying?
You know, I'm not one to call any. I mean, I don't know what's in her head. I mean, we spoke about things, and I'm just not sure about the information that she was fed from this producer, from this third-party person. Warner
Brothers have closed the investigation. Her lawyer says that they want the investigation to continue. Mm-hmm. How did you feel when you heard that?
You know, that's something that, you know, my legal team handles. Like, for me, I hired the correct people, and I hired people for that reason. Like, that's not my cup of tea. That's not my lane. You know, I stay out of that. So it's all about my counsel.
The people who have benefited the most, I think, from this whole situation is Bachelor in Paradise. They have a ton of press. They're going back, they're shooting, they're like that whole thing. And now look at the buzz around that show. Do you blame them?
No. You know, I feel like we're all like pawns in the game in like a sense.
Yeah.
Like we're all, like, you know, we're all victims to certain degrees. It's like, who shot Kennedy? You know, like seriously, who did it? Like what it's gonna be like a reality mystery. We're all kind of sitting here like a little confused. Because I know I am. Even I'm in this. I'm in it, right?
Like,
and I'm confused. I'm in this, and I don't know anything. I'm so people ask me, and they're like, "D, what do you?" I'm like, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm not lying. I'm not trying to be like cool guy. Like I don't know. This is so. It's been so challenging to be a part of a situation, and still like I'm still like 50-50. I'm like there's 50% of this whole situation that I'm just like, wait, what? Because it's like, what exactly did third parties, like, it's just, there's so many like what ifs and so many conspiracies and there's so many random things. But like the one for sure thing is that like I'm 100% like in the clear, not what these fake news alternative sites have, you know, said about me.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, like the bad thing is last week. The good thing is this week. I'm able to be here and talk to you and be able to, you know, clear my family name. Like I'm like very proud. I'm like a proud like big brother. I'm a proud like just brother in general. I'm a proud son. I'm a proud grandson. You know, I've got children. You know, and like just to be able to be here and be able to breathe more. I haven't had anxiety this whole interview. I still don't have an appetite, but like, you know, it's, you know, it's very, you know, it's very cool to at least be getting out, you know, my side finally, you know, because there was so much. Well, DeMario told a friend's neighbor's uncle that it's like, dude, that's not real. Like, I didn't say that.
Are you going to go back?
You know what? I have not thought about that. That like yesterday was such a relieving day. It was such a family. Like the minute this broke, my dad's like, "Come on, let's go eat." And my dad, my uncle, and I, we went to go eat. You know, we were just on the beach hanging out. Paparazzi was following us, of course, but it was. At this moment, I don't care about that. I don't care about anything with my family. I just want to hang out with my siblings. I hang out with my friends. I got castmates that are flying into town this weekend.
Great.
Yeah, and it's just
for you.
Just for me. You. Yeah, it was again. This whole experience is humbling because you don't know the impact you make on people's lives until people like put their life on hold for you.
Yeah.
Like, it's been very cool just to have like my boys, like from, you know, Rachel's season, like a lot of us gonna be in town this weekend. And they're like, dude, like whatever you want to do. If you just want to hang out and watch movies and eat ice cream, let's do it. If you want to go out, want to have some drinks, want to have some dinner, you know, you deserve more. Like my buddy Will from the show, he posted a very heartfelt message on Instagram, and he's like, you guys saw DeMario, this picture that they painted, but you guys didn't see the DeMario that shook everybody's hand in the house, the DeMario that got everybody waters, the DeMario that made it a point to go up to every single person and find out about who they are, where they're from, what sports teams they like, and then bust their balls about how their sports teams are. Like, you know, it's because that's not good TV. It's like, oh, these guys are blowing out. Good TV is, you know, having these, you know, set up beefs and stuff. And I get that. We signed up for it, you know, and I love that. I love the production. Like, I love how, like, they can kind of know how to, these little villains and stuff, and how they can, like, plot. And I love it. I actually complimented them on the season with Rachel. I was like, hey, like, I love the way you guys put me out on TV because it's true. I was that, like, the chef is here. Like, I love that. It was very cool, like, the way, like, I was depicted on TV. And a lot of people didn't like themselves because they weren't themselves. But I was being 100% me, and I love that.
Have you heard from Rachel?
No, I haven't heard from Rachel.
Would you want to?
Yeah, I mean, I would love, I mean, I don't know what we would talk about. Like, I try to explain my side of the story, like, way back then. She wasn't having it. But, yeah, I mean, I would love to say hi to her.
If you were to go back on Bachelor in Paradise, how could you trust them?
I honestly believe that it wasn't them.
Really?
I honestly believe that. Because a lot of people's lives are on the line. Like, a lot of money. Like, a lot of, I don't know. I really think that this was the third-party person going complete rogue. Huh. Like, I honestly, like, I just, you know when you look a man into the eyes, like, I don't know, you just kind of feel it. I mean, I could be super naive to it, and I could be that person who goes on to Paradise and gets screwed again. Or I could be that person who goes on and finds love. I don't know, but, you know.
Because you could have sued them. You were painted as a rapist last week.
Correct.
They did barely anything to protect you. They left you out there to be eaten by the dogs. Is that why you hired a lawyer? Like, what was the purpose of doing that?
To be honest, I was scared shitless. I didn't know. I just wanted to protect myself. Even our first conversation, Walter and I, it was so funny because I'm like, so, I don't even know what this, like, I don't even know.
What do you do?
Like, what do you do? Like, I'm DeMario. Do you like sports? Like, you know, like, you like music? What's your favorite? Like, I didn't know what to ask him. I didn't, and it was cool with him. And the reason why I like Walter and I'll be friends with him for life is because it wasn't like a lawyer conversation. It just was like, how are you? Like, how's your family? How's your health?
Yeah.
Have you eaten? And from there, we were able to just discuss the day and what happened.
Yeah.
And it just felt great speaking to somebody who has no dog in the fight. I hadn't signed him at the time. And he was like, okay, we're going to get through this. And he kind of gave me a plan of action on how to go about speaking to, you know, the lawyer jargon. And then one thing led to another, and I was free yesterday.
Final thing to ask you, because I know that you would have been asked this in the investigation, just as far as sexual misconduct. Making out with a girl who's drunk, like, where is the line crossed in your head?
Here's my thing. I'm on Paradise. It's not my job to walk around with a breathalyzer.
Yeah.
It's not, you know, it's not my job to be able to determine, like, you know what? You look like, who does that? Nope, I've never, in the history of life, unless some chick is like passed out on the ground or something, this isn't the case. Like, we're having a conversation. Like, if we leave here today and tomorrow you text me and go, yeah, D, after our, like, I was 10 shots deep when I interviewed you. Like is that like I don't know. And number one, I'm drunk. So do I not have the same rights?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if we're playing, like, do I not have the same? I mean, if, you know, if I'm 10 shots deep and you're 10 shots deep and you and I, you know, both make out,
yeah.
I mean, why is it like, oh, well, like the man's guilty?
Yeah.
I mean, why? And that's like the, you know, obviously it's playing like devil's advocate, but it's just like, why is it just on me? Mm-hmm. Like, why am I like, you know, the villain for this? If, you know, you have two people who were, you know, equally, you know, at fault for like drinking and like, you know, making out and hooking up. I mean, but again, like, I don't know. I'm not, but I know one thing, that we had conversations and she wasn't like doing the whole slurring and, you know.
Final thing. Who are you today as opposed to who you were 2 weeks ago?
You know, I'm still
As
the
a
same person.
person.
I'm still the same person. Yeah, my eating's a little different, and I haven't been sleeping as much. But you know, with like family and friends, I'm still me. I'm not gonna be that person that's like the world. You know, I'm still gonna go out. You know, I'm still gonna smile. I'm still gonna like love my mother, love my father, my family. I'm still me. Like, you know, I mean, it does suck because of the situation, but that's stuff that's gonna just be for like the time, you know, for like right now. But you know, the end goal is making sure that you know I'm right, you know, health wise. You know, been seeing my therapist and you know, just trying to get those crazy thoughts out of my mind and everything, and try to sleep a little better, try to get my appetite up. But yeah, I mean, I'm still, you know, me for the most part.
So how supportive have your other castmates been?
You know, everybody's been extremely supportive, which is, you know, it's wild because I knew a lot of the girls for like 3 days. You know, like 72 hours. I left a, you know, big enough impact. Like, you know, Raven is, you know, I'd reach out to her like, thank you, I appreciate you for, you know, getting out your truth.
Yeah.
And here, you can kind of scroll up
Oh,
right
yeah.
here. So this is from Lee. He's been painted as a villain in my season, but he's praying for both Corinne and I. This is from Danielle. You know, hey D, it's D, thinking about you. You know, this is from Raven right here. I'm just was thanking her. This was after she, you know, released her statement. And I'm just, you know, kind of, you know, thanking her for getting out her truth and just talking about how real recognizes real, telling her have a great Friday. This is from Jasmine. This is prior to all of this stuff. She's saying that if things don't switch up, she's going to definitely, you know, go on record. She's already telling me that she's already went on record to ABC's lawyers through everything, and then that's Raven again.
What about Alexis?
Yeah, Alexis has been like the most vocal. Like we talk every single day on the phone. Like we FaceTime, we Snapchat. Like she's been like my like rock. Her and Taylor as well. Like I FaceTime. Like they've been like my two closest friends from the show. Alexis has been just like my everything. She's like the person, just very, very like genuinely like. She's like, I want to keep you smiling. I want to keep you laughing. Like talking to me. Taylor as well. Taylor, like we talk all day, every day. Also guys from my season like Fred, Josiah, you know, Diggy, Iggy. Maddie, Will. I
mean, is there a chance that you and Alexis could, after all of this craziness, end up together?
You know, I don't know. I genuinely, I like her as a friend. You know, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I didn't want more, but, you know, we'll kind of have to wait and see. You know, if not, on Paradise, you know, when she comes out here to visit or whenever I go back to the East Coast, it's something that, you know, I wouldn't mind, you know, trying or at least reaching out. I told her yesterday that you know, we're going to Cuba this summer. I thought I was going to kidnap her. She's like, let's go. But, you know, we'll see. She's very cool, and she's been supportive through a very dark time of mine.
Yeah.
So I like super thankful for, you know, for her and, you know, for her just being there.
That would actually be kind of the perfect ending to a total nightmare.
That would be wild. I even told her, I said through all this crazy stuff, it was worth it because I met like some amazing people. She's like, you're nuts. I'm like, no, seriously. Like, you know, that's like the joy and the pain version, but,
Yeah.
you know.
Is she going to Bachelor in Paradise? Is she going to go back?
Yes, she's on.
So would you go back just for her?
If I was to go back, it would strictly be for her. But I don't know if I'm going to go back. I haven't even thought that far. I was just prepping for you all night.
All right.
A politically correct answer right there.